So WTF Wednesday, PMO stuff that people think is boring or gets in the way, but is actually really important. Risk management. So people think that's a ball ache to think about the risks that could happen in the project, to give them a score, work out how likely it is, what the impact's going to be, whether we want to mitigate that risk or just tolerate it. But a bit like status reporting, I think it's a useful exercise to do because it encourages you to think about stuff that could go wrong on the project and about whether you
Or
can
emerge that could help you.
Yes.
Don't forget, it's an opportunity.
Absolutely. Yes. Opportunities. So it gives you an opportunity to think about whether there are things that you can do right now that will increase the likelihood of the good stuff happening or decrease the likelihood of the bad stuff happening, or whether it's the kind of thing where, well, we don't want to change anything that we're doing now. If it happens, we'll do that. And we have a contingency plan. What do you think?
Anyone who's worked with me in a project management capacity knows I love a RAID log. I think that it is one of the most useful tools in the project manager toolbox.
Right.
And I'm frequently surprised when I see project managers not using one, even if it's as simple as recording decisions that were made along the way that you can then refer back to say, I thought so and so decided that on this date and this was why they did it. So I've been proceeding on that basis.
Yes.
But the value of the thought process of thinking about a risk, should it materialize, and having that plan ready when you're not in a state of panic or under pressure to fix said thing is hugely valuable.
Yeah.
And maybe it's me. I'm the typical overthinker, thinking of what will I do if I live like that?
It's one of those things that, yes, RAID logs are great, but it's not about is the impact a 4 or a 5, is the likelihood a 2 or a 3, and where does it put it on this matrix, so much as thinking about the kind of stuff that the project could come across, that the project could face, and about how the project wants to handle that scenario. And all of that's taking a place, as you say, away from the pressure situation of it actually happening. It's about the process and not the artifact.
Absolutely. There's so many things in project management. It's about the activity and the process and what it prompts rather than the production of the artifact.
Yes.
And I think we've probably come across it ourselves many times, of the pushback about producing the artifact.
Yes.
It's not about that.
Yes.
Is it?
To me, whether the artifact itself is perfect, it's not the aim. It's about the thought process that goes into it. The artifact will tell you some stuff about the process. So, for example, if you have a risk log that's got millions of open risks on it that haven't been updated for months and months and months,
tells you a lot about the health of the project.
Well, it tells you that people aren't thinking about that stuff. It tells you that people are approaching that kind of thinking on a sort of one and done basis. They think about it once, stick it on the shelf, and then completely forget about it and never touch it again. Whereas it should be something that is being thought about on a regular basis, a recurring basis, maybe when preparing the status report.
That, as a minimum, would be the recommended approach. I mean, ideally, it should be a living document that anyone in the team can contribute to, because they are closer to what may emerge than perhaps the project manager is.
Useful thing to be doing, and not just for the purpose of a perfectly groomed risk log.
Yes.